What's going on?
Welcome aboard, ladies and gentlemen, on the Last Give podcast. I am Flash. Person next to me on my
What?
left is Ace,
Yeah, I can do my name.
and we are out here live, bringing you another banger, talking about some NFL free agency and NFL news going on. Lots of stuff went on, especially last night. Heck of a game last night for that national championship on the NCAA's men's basketball tournament. That's the big things that are on my mind. Mr. Ace over here.
We have a new dynasty forming in women's basketball. Don't forget that. There's a new dynasty getting formed in South Carolina. We got NBA stuff just going to hell right now for all the big market teams, which is actually just when the NBA gets better.
I need to mention something.
We got Tiger
I need to hear Ace on what he thinks about Honey Badger, because
that's later on, and that's not even a confirmed thing yet. Tiger Woods getting comeback athlete of the year award. If they had one, that's what he should be getting right now. Opening week is this week, so for baseball's coming back. NHL's coming in the final stretch. NBA's in this last week. So, we got our stuff to do, all that good stuff to talk about. Be a friend, tell a friend, like, share, subscribe. If you're on Twitter, head over to YouTube if you want to do the comments section. Anything else, Flash, before we hit this intro?
Nah, I really said what I want to say.
We got Dan Snyder stuff too, him being a douchebag and the irony in his whole situation too. I forgot we got to talk about that. Interesting questions of debate that's going to be popping up here and there throughout the show. Hopefully, producer JP remembers to use the sound effects that we discovered during the show.
Sound effects?
Yeah, we discovered this. We were supposed to do it last week and we forgot. Hopefully, he remembers to do it.
Peeps, play a sound effect. I want to hear one.
And then hit the intro. He's not doing it. Hit the intro.
They don't. Hit the intro. Hit the intro, please. You know what? I'm looking at an intro. Why did Jordan pick the highlight with Cooper Kupp burning the Bucks, man?
I picked that. I had to throw that one in there. Yep.
This is a felony, man. Peoples, we gotta do something about that.
As kickoff, switch that background. We got kickoff to hit. All right, let's talk about Flash and his sad little Seahawks getting trolled essentially by their best defensive player of all time, Bobby Wagner. So Los Angeles Rams over the Baltimore Ravens for one reason and one reason only. It's to beat the Seahawks twice a year. Flash.
Tragic. It's tragic.
That's it? That's all you got to say? Tragic?
This is tragic, man. But, I mean, hey, you know what? The Seahawks did it to themselves, so what can I say?
Hey, really?
Yeah, that's. I do admire DK Metcalf defending on Twitter, though. I do admire that. He still defends them, so you know what? It's still all love for DK and some of those guys battle.
Okay, so we can clearly tell Flash is still in the depressed stage of the Seahawks rebuild coming up. Hopefully the draft gives him some positive news, but in other NFC West news, we have Frank Gore coming back out, not coming back out of retirement. Oh my God.
He is going into retirement as a 49er, ladies and gentlemen.
There you go.
And I think that's what Frank Gore deserves.
Yep. So the fact that he almost had as many yards in his career as 5 other running backs who were drafted in front of him, that might have been the wildest thing I heard. And the fact he tore both ACLs in college and still managed a 16-year career, wow. Shout out Frank Gore, little round of applause, hell of a career. Just adding to the list of legends retiring this offseason. But, yeah, it's kind of good to see him go off into his sunset. I kind of thought he played on more than 5 teams. I thought he played on a lot more than that, but And it's only 5, I think, with Buffalo, 49ers, New York, Miami, and another team. I'm forgetting. But oh well. All right. We're going through this very fast, but Colin Kaepernick, he had a Michigan. He was in University of Michigan for a workout. He did say he's willing to be a backup in the league if he can, just so he can be in it. So I mean, do you think he's getting into the league? I think he might get an offer.
I mean, as a backup,
he's better than some of them out there. He's definitely better than some of them out there.
I mean, as a backup, I don't see why not. But people are going to say it brings drama and all that nonsense.
I mean, Deshaun Watson. That's all you got to say for any drama.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I think Kaepernick at this point is being blackballed if he's not even given a backup position. Like how you see Blake Bortles got a backup position and Andy Dalton. I mean, come on.
Those are your bad examples. The Nate Sudfelds, the Josh Johnsons. There's another one I'm thinking of that's out there that's just bad. I don't even know how he has a job.
Josh McCown.
Josh McCown's a coordinator now with the Texans.
I mean, that lets you know the backup talent in the NFL. I think he should definitely get a job, but I mean, unfortunately, like it's the league we're talking about, the same league that blackballed him out. So,
all right, so I'm gonna go through the list of backup quarterbacks for last season. So we had with the Cardinals, they had Colt McCoy. Falcons had Josh Rosen, Felipe Franks. Baltimore had Tyler Huntley. Buffalo had Mitch Trubisky.
Wait, where Felipe Franks played at?
Atlanta. Brandon Allen is the backup in Cincinnati. Cooper Rush is the backup in Dallas. Come on now. Kaepernick's better than them both. David Blow in Detroit. Come on, he's better than them. Brett Hundley, better than them. CJ Beathard, definitely better. Chad Henne, definitely better. Nathan Peterman, the dude threw 5 picks in the half. Come on, he's better than him. John Wolford, I don't even know who the hell he is. I think he was that CFL guy who beat the Seahawks in the playoffs last year. So, Jacoby Brissett's all right. Sean Mannion, I didn't even know
Jacoby Brissett is solid for a backup.
Sean Mannion, I didn't even know he was in the league. Brian Hoyer just refused to retire. Kaepernick's probably definitely better than Taysom Hill. I mean, could have done that last year when Jameis went down. Definitely better than Ian Book. Mike Glennon, Mike White.
All right, we get it.
I'm making the point.
Backups not named Jacoby Brissett and the Ravens dude.
Taylor Huntley.
Taylor Hunt. I mean, besides those guys, is most likely better than them.
Yep. All right. So let's talk about this. Patriots trying to make a move here for wide receiver. They go and they bring in.
Why not talk about your Saints and your little trade? I want to hear you on.
I was gonna say that one for right before we switch over. I'm pinning everything else before that.
Okay.
All right. So the Patriots getting Devontae Parker to help out Mac Jones, and this is gonna set up our next question, where they send a 3rd round pick to Miami for Parker and a 5th. So if JP would pull up the question, that would be great. There we go. All right, you go first. I want to see what you got to say. Have your little Stephen A. moment of debate. I want to hear what you got to say.
Who would you rather have for the next
10 years? Tua Tagovailoa or Mac Jones?
You know what? I mean, it's still tough, but I'm not. You know what?
Let's make it easy.
Listen. Tua is gonna probably get benched for Teddy Bridgewater this season.
No, I was gonna say let's make it easy. All right, so let's just say the best top-down offense right now is probably Tampa, right? You take out just this is hypothetical, right? If you had to get a quarterback to replace Brady when he retired, who would you rather have, Mac Jones or Tua?
As of right now, based on how they're playing, probably Mac Jones.
Explain. You can't just answer.
I mean, because we're talking about Tua. He's on his way to getting benched for.
He's
for
not
Teddy
getting
Bridgewater.
Teddy.
He's on his way if he plays.
He had the worst offensive line in the league, and he had the same stats as Mac Jones did last year.
Yeah, that is true.
And this is also the same dude who also had tank for Tua. Was going to be the number 1 overall pick in 2020 if not for Joe Burrow going into God mode. And also you had him also coming off a severe hip injury, finally getting healthy last year before breaking his
Well,
finger.
I don't know what's much better between Tua and Mac. That's another thing. Mac Jones is only good for throwing down those check down passes.
He's essentially a glorified Teddy Bridgewater. What's your point?
He is not a glorified Teddy Bridgewater. Teddy Bridgewater is better than him.
That's why I said he's a glorified Teddy Bridgewater.
No, you see, prime Teddy Bridgewater was a dual threat quarterback. You don't see Mac Jones making those dual threat moves. So no, I'm not
talking about the check down part.
No. I mean, it's a toss up. 10 years. I mean, to be fair, I would probably.
I'd take Tua without a second thought, really.
I mean, hey, you know what? I would probably take either one of them for like 3 to 4 years, and if it doesn't work out, get a new quarterback. Draft one.
Wow, you got to answer. You don't know how this stuff works. Never mind. All right, another Dolphin.
Tua. You want Tua?
No, I don't want Tua. You're supposed to give an actual reason for Mac Jones, but it's all right.
Mac Jones does not have a terrible day with interceptions and everything, you know.
Did you not see him against Buffalo?
Besides that Buffalo game.
All right, Xavier Howard is now the highest paid.
Hey, just remember this. Remember this. Early last season, everyone thought New England was going to run that division, and then Buffalo, towards the second half, snuck up and slapped them in the face. So that's.
Yep. All right. Xavier Howard is now your highest paid corner in the league. He's making $24 million a year. He got a contract extension for extra $50 million on his deal. So congrats to him. I don't even know where the Dolphins are pulling out money out of their back. I don't know. The Saints and Eagles. All right, let's talk about this trade. This one, it's not going to be talked a lot right now because there's no actual people involved. But this one, I think, has more than one layer to this trade. So, and it's kind of weird to have this trade 3 weeks before draft. But the Saints are getting it number 16, number 19 in the first round this year, and a 6th-round pick later on this draft. The Eagles are going to get pick 18, a 3rd-round pick 101 this year. Next year's 1st-round pick, and the year after is 2024 2nd-round pick. So I don't exactly hate this move because, oh god, the way how you froze, bro, you look so high just now. Your face just the way how your face froze on the camera, it looked really weird. All right, so
like this,
kind of. All right, so there's. So I don't have an issue with this trade solely because they're gonna get a 1st-round pick guaranteed back next year when they trade Sean Payton to the Cowboys. So I don't actually hate this move, and that's the one thing I don't hear nobody really talking about because they're all talking about how the Eagles are getting these picks for the future. But I mean, the Eagles' draft record is horrible. It's like one of the worst in the league. So it's just right up there with the Jets, and then you also have the Saints aren't even losing a 1st-round pick because they're gonna have one next year anyway. So. Is it that much of a loss? And if you hit on both your picks this year, which will probably be like a left tackle and a wide receiver, hopefully, or even maybe like a Garrett Wilson, Chris Olave, Jameson Williams mixed with a Macro, I'd be fine with that too. But I mean, what do you think about this trade? It's not gonna make too much headlines, the lack of people, but
I don't think it's nothing too serious, but other than that, the fact that Saints are leaning towards more of a rebuild and trying to.
Oh Lord. Okay, moving on because this boy clearly is in lost mode.
No, you're getting like high picks in the 1st round, dude.
You know, a rebuild is when you trade players for picks, not picks for picks.
Yeah, but they're trying to get some.
It's called a reload, not a rebuild.
You think it's a reload?
If they were gonna rebuild, they would have traded Jordan already.
All right. Who are they gonna get with these picks? Who do you think they're gonna get?
Wide receiver, one of them.
Who's gonna be Chris Olave or Taekwon?
Olave, yeah, it's probably gonna be Olave.
Olave or Taekwon?
Jameson Williams.
All right. Which one between Olave and Taekwon? Which one you get?
But I ain't no one touching Taekwon. He can only run fast. He can't run a route.
You know that. Did you see his tape? Did you see his tape at Baylor?
Yeah. It ain't Chris Olave. I take Jameson Williams over both.
Over Olave?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, he was doing his same stuff to he was doing the same stuff Olave's doing to the SEC, not the Big Ten. Funny reason why, but he's also coming off an ACL, so it's kind of like either or.
I'll probably.
But I mean, Tyrann
Olave
Matthews visiting the Saints also. We kind of mentioned this one. It's nothing. There ain't no deal right now. He just went and talked to them, viewed this facility and all that. He clearly wants to be there, but I don't know. It's more.
You want to know who else wanted to be there too? Brandon Cooks.
Brandon Cooks did not want to be there. Just shut up with you're just talking nonsense.
He tweeted. I remember when he tweeted like, "Why I didn't get traded to the Saints." Back
He's
when
the same dude who cried because he didn't get targets when the Saints won a game. I didn't want to hear diddly squat about Brandon Cooks.
He was sad when Mark Ingram got traded from the Texans to the Saints, and he wanted to go back. Man, come on.
Yeah, he can go cry. He was just mad Mike Thomas was better than him. All right, NBA. Let's talk about your Bricks and your Lakers just being trash. They're facing elimination tonight.
You know what? Let them get eliminated. LeBron's out. Frank Vogel's going to get fired. And
it's a glory day for Flash.
It's a good day for me. I'll just root for the Grizzlies in the playoffs, other than the Bucks.
Yes, it's Grizzlies and Bucks on this side. Let's see. So, what do you think about Westbrook probably staying in Los Angeles?
Well, it depends. I mean, I don't know if Russell Westbrook wants to stay and deal with the mental torture of those Lakers fans, or is he willing to take a more deal-friendly contract? And
it's either Los Angeles or Oklahoma, probably at this rate.
If Russell Westbrook was to get a new deal instead of taking that
no, if he was to get traded, it would probably be Oklahoma back. Yes, why does ESPN and TNT torture us? It's because that's where the money is.
It's where the money is. It's LeBron is. It gets some clicks whenever they look bad. I mean, that's why.
It's all about this. The Johnny Manziel money.
And I don't appreciate Magic Johnson talking nonsense on what he said the other day in First Take. You saw that, Flash?
Magic Johnson, the same one that's like.
Magic Johnson knows very well that
the Lakers. Let me just say this: the Lakers have been going downhill since Dr. Bus died. That's all I gotta say.
Well, no, let me say this: Magic Johnson knows very well Frank Vogel is a very terrible coach. He knows that. Magic Johnson also thinks getting DeMar DeRozan would have been a better pick than what they have right now with Russell Westbrook. Little does he know that team already has LeBron James. And if Magic thinks that DeMar DeRozan and Kyle Lowry is going to change anything, it's just going to full team fight for the ball even more. Lakers' number one issue is that Frank Vogel cannot create offense, and the number two issue is that they have role players thinking that they're much more than what they really are. So, and number three, they can't play defense or squat. Vogel is supposedly a defensive-minded coach.
You know what's the best part about this whole thing too is
Westbrook is going to get blamed more than Frank Vogel. That's the thing. That's the craziest thing about it.
Yeah, there's that, and there's also that people were saying how DeMar DeRozan was the worst free agent signing of the offseason. When the season started, that's who they said was the worst off-season signing.
I'm one of the bad Lakers fans themselves do. If Lakers DeMar DeRozan this offseason, they would have been saying, "Oh, we got."
Yeah, last offseason. If you would have asked the Lakers fan last offseason, before the season even knew the events of what happened this season, and you asked them who would you want between Westbrook and DeMar DeRozan, come on now, everybody's gonna say Westbrook. You might hear a lone Spurs fan or a Toronto Raptors fan who's just answer saying DeMar, but I mean, come on now.
I doubt it. I mean, I really don't know, but I just doubt it.
All right, let's talk about the fun team in the NBA. The Memphis Grizzlies, they are, in my opinion, yes, not the best team. I don't know about that because the Eastern Conference is just a haywire mess right now. But I do think they are one or two in the NBA. I think they're better than Phoenix. I mean, if you give them a 6-game
series, if John Moran comes back, yeah.
I mean, they just beat Phoenix without 4 starters. I mean,
yeah, without 4 starters,
you give me
also
you give me Steven Adams, you give me Jaren Jackson.
But think of this. I mean, what's the game difference between Phoenix and second seed right now? Let me look that up.
A bunch.
Let me see. Western Conference standing. No, I want. What's the thing is telling me?
All right, it is 7 games. There's
7 games
back.
different. Exactly. I don't think Phoenix is going to be sweating about losing to the Grizzlies teams without 4 starters.
You see Chris Fraud in the playoffs.
Well, that's the only major weak link Phoenix really have. Phoenix, on the other hand, also have a bunch of young guys that could play hard and stuff, and they also have Devin Booker.
Young guys playing hard. Well, Devin Booker's no longer a young guy.
Well,
Devin Booker, maybe.
DeAndre Ayton
Bridges,
and Mikal Bridges, yes. Cameron Payne is kind of on the older side too.
No, Cameron Johnson.
No, no.
Oh, you're talking about Cameron Payne. Okay.
Yeah, but still, overall, in a nutshell, they have a lot of strong young guys in that lineup that could play hard.
I think Steven Adams would do a good job against DeAndre Ayton.
Morant
and Booker might cancel each other out scoring wise if they played against each other.
Well, let me say this. I mean, it all depends on how good DeAndre Ayton is as a center. If he's a really good center, Steven Adams is going to be screwed. But if he's not that good, then Steven Adams can handle it.
Well, it depends on which DeAndre Ayton you're getting to. If you're getting the one that played against Los Angeles and dominated, or the one that played games 3 through 6 and against Milwaukee. So it's something like that. But all right. Moving on to the team that the Phoenix Suns did beat last year in the Los Angeles Clippers. Paul George is getting 24, 6 assists, and 4 rebounds.
Why you had to word it like that, man? That is
what the team Phoenix beat in the playoffs. Sorry, that's a little harsh.
That is very harsh. You
sorry.
Stop being
the team
so
Phoenix
harsh.
beat without Kawhi Leonard. No, wait. The team Phoenix beat that did not have Kawhi Leonard.
The Los Angeles Clippers news. Otherwise, ladies and gentlemen, we have Paul George as playing very well for someone who's coming off of a
major elbow injury.
Elbow injury?
Yeah,
I thought it was a knee injury.
UCL elbow.
Oh.
Yeah. So
I mean,
24 talk about deja vu really in the first game back. Hey, that deja vu in that first game back, coming back for 25 against Utah, I think he might single-handedly have ended that Utah core. Because I think there's starting to be a thing here between – you're seeing it more between Donovan Mitchell and Rudy Gobert, and it's like –
they're talking about splitting them up.
There is no way. I can see no way Donovan Mitchell's in a Utah Jazz uniform next year.
You don't think so?
I don't think
is it really that bad?
The way how the thing with 2 passes to Gobert a game, you can't have your star player doing that to your other star player. That's just not a recipe for success.
I mean, I'm still kind of confused on what's going on in Utah these days.
I do think long leads against Los Angeles and essentially 3 games over the last year.
I mean, do I think the Jazz were that good? No. Are they well constructed? Yes. Until I saw they traded Joe Engel, and now I'm like, okay, what's going on?
Locker room probably.
Something's going on in Utah.
This is actually the thing that Utah that's caught my attention.
There's not enough talk on ESPN about that.
That's
also, one thing for sure.
They've been talking if Popovich was to retire in the next year or 2. They said San Antonio's preferred target would be Quinn Snyder from Utah, and then I heard that one a couple weeks ago, and then I also heard today that Quinn Snyder will be one of the guys that Los Angeles is going to look at when they fire Frank Vogel, and I'm like, all right, so Quinn Snyder's name has been popping up now the last couple of weeks, and it's just not rumors, this guy's thing, because generally when you hear a name starting to come up repeatedly, there's generally some smoke in that area, and you're gonna be like, okay, so what exactly is Utah about to blow it up? And
I mean, there's already rumors that the Lakers are already looking at coaches for next year. I mean,
that's what I'm talking about. They're looking at Quinn Snyder.
Quinn Snyder is one option. Doc Rivers is another. I'm not too sure about the Doc Rivers one. I don't like it.
Severely overrated since 2008.
Yeah, I mean, this is Doc Rivers, third team in how many years?
Since 2008, Boston, Los Angeles, and now Philadelphia. But
yeah,
I mean, his playoff track record is not one that is to be desired.
And Philadelphia looks like they're another mess too, but we'll talk about that in a moment. Let's talk about the Brooklyn Nets real quickly. I'm curious.
All right, so they are now the 10th seed, but they're going to be in the play-in no matter what. The Eastern Conference, the team's going to be in the play-in and playoffs already set. It's just the
I
matter
heard
of
Brooklyn's
seed.
defense is really horrendous.
Oh yeah, it's
Elaborate
been.
on that.
I think more that had more to do with that trade for Simmons than anything, because they brought in the offense to like kind of replace, but didn't replace Harden. I mean, though Harden wasn't great defensively, but the way they got
Harden has
Drummond.
never been like a
Drummond's
super.
not doing very good in defense. Seth Curry's not very good on defense either. I mean,
Seth
you're not
Curry's not
seeing much.
expected to be
Patty
a
Mill,
defensive guy.
Patty Mills ain't doing much on defense. I mean, I haven't heard diddly squat about Gore and Dragic.
Yeah, what happened to Gore and Dragic is like went off the radar.
I don't know. Gore and Dragic
This
fell
is
off the last.
this is stuff what happens when ESPN only talks about the Lakers and all their favorite things because you don't know what's going on. And I'm hearing Philly still is struggling too.
I gotta pull back up the standings and find Brooklyn. All right, Brooklyn.
They're in 10th seed. I know that.
Right now they're up 14 on Houston, but that's to be expected. I mean, their starting lineup these days they got Kyrie back, you got KD. He's saying his MCL's what kind of his knee injuries what screwed up the Nets season, but
it's
then you're
more
like,
than that.
It's also Kyrie time for the last second half, not playing the first like 30 games or whatever. That would have been big. Your second best player or Harden was there, wasn't doing much, and then you had Harden getting his hamstring issues and all that. So you're like, there's a rotation of injuries to start the season, and now your guys aren't even playing defense. Like Marcus Aldridge literally retired and came back. I mean, like you can't expect much defense from him. I mean, it's like Cam Thomas is a scorer, not a defender. Nick Claxton got bullied last night or the night before he was getting bullied by somebody. I think it was Giannis was dominating him when they played against each other last week. I mean, it's been dark days right now for Brooklyn.
I'm leaning to the belief that Milwaukee is going back to the championship at this rate.
I said that since November, September. I said Milwaukee was going to get there.
I know. And even though back then we had some questions about the Brooklyn Nets and stuff, but seeing how Brooklyn is panning out and seeing how Philadelphia has been panning out, it really might be Milwaukee going back. I don't think the Heat is going to be that much of a challenge for Milwaukee.
Oh, you want to talk about that one, JP? All right.
Kings? Well, I don't know, man. I mean,
16th straight season of not hitting the playoffs. I mean, that is bad, man. I know many head coaches, different core
how long
players.
You're 16 straight seasons of tanking. Just imagine that, ladies and gentlemen. 16 straight seasons of tanking.
And taking Marvin Bagley over Luka and Trae Young. But you already had De'Aaron Fox. So it was all right on the Trae Young pick. But then trading Tyrese Haliburton for Sabonis, that one's a bigger question mark because Haliburton is getting like 18 and 11 these days. And he just had 17 assists with no turnovers. So you got to be like, oof, that's a tough pill to swallow. I mean, could have traded. Oh no, they already did trade Buddy Hield, but that's another one they flopped on. They had DeMarcus Cousins. We know how that ended. It's just been a rogue. I don't know when Sacramento's ever going to get back up. I mean, they just had a big thing.
That's with ownership and GM. That's what I'm going to say with Sacramento.
Yeah,
Sacramento needs to stop hiring these terrible coaches as well.
From that craziness that happened over the weekend. Prayers up for those people in Sacramento. Forgot to mention that.
Prayers up for them. That is just. I saw the tweet talking about it, and it said prayers up for Sacramento. And when I first saw that tweet,
and no one's talking about it. That's a weird one.
I was thinking they were talking about
the Kings.
I thought they were talking about the Kings, but then I read the comments. I'm like, oh. So forgive me, Lord, for I have sinned on that one.
All right. Last time Sacramento.
Yeah, they had Mike Bibby, and they probably
that was what 06. Jesus. Talk about
it's ownership. That's what I'm going to say. Ownership.
That's the thing. You see these teams being consistently bad in every professional sport, and you got to be like, if nothing is working, then you notice, yeah, it's ownership is the issue. With the Knicks, you're noticing it too. Dolan, crappy owner. They've been crappy. They're missing the playoffs again, even though they made it last year. They're not. They said Thibodeau's not on the hot seat, but yet Taj Gibson continues to play almost 25 minutes a game.
It's ridiculous.
I mean, Tibbs is in a wrong era, man.
No. You see what Tibbs does? He doesn't go through his bench. He plays guys he knows and who he likes.
Markel playing right now, good. Got 16 and 5 right now in 21 minutes against the Cavs. They're up 1. Keep an eye on that game. His first start since tearing his ACL against Cleveland, actually, last year. So it's good for Markel. He's back on the court, playing pretty good, actually, those last couple games. Actually, there's only 2 games left after this, but it's good to see him back starting. But Jordan Poole, I want to talk about this before we move on. Dude's gotten 24 and 4 since the All-Star break, and Curry's been out. So I mean, I think Golden State found the next superstar. I mean, he's not there yet as a superstar, but he's getting up in there. I mean, this Poole guy, keep an eye out there. Some Warriors fans said that, not Wiseman, Jordan Poole.
We'll see.
Shooting guard out from Memphis. Not Memphis, Michigan. Wrong M. Sorry.
I mean, hey, you know what? Maybe I'm not gonna say. I can't say that. I mean, because Golden State was slacking, but I'll say this: before they were slacking, but Klay Thompson was out and Jordan was playing. So just think.
Hey, when they were going off, it was Poole, Wiggins, and Curry all rolling, and now Wiggins getting back hot. They did that last night, I think it was, or the night before.
But Golden State's on.
Golden State's been on the decline, but I saw some Warriors fans saying that they're thinking that they need to start putting Klay coming off the bench because he hasn't been that efficient since he's been back. He's been kind of trying to force his way back into it instead of letting it. I think
if I was Steve Kerr, I would probably been like nice to Klay Thompson and be like, hey, ease your way back in rather than forcing you to start.
I mean, coming off the bench in like 30 minutes.
Because here's the thing, it's not a disrespectful thing to Klay Thompson. It's just more that, okay, the team was clicking. You just came back in. I'm not trying to reset and redo everything. If my team has been playing before you came back, I am gonna do what is best for my team. It's just something like that. But I mean, of course, in the age of where people's egos are so fragile and stuff, you can't say that.
I mean, don't worry, piss off Magic Twitter when you say Jonathan Isaac needs to come off the bench next year. Don't worry, them is so weird sometimes. There's like a civil war going on with that thing. That's another conversation for the off season when there's nothing to talk about. All right, so let's talk about the good teams now. The NCAA, we got 2 new champions. One staying in the same conference, the other one's going to the SEC. Hit the news slide. There we go. Whoa. Georgia's whatever. I mean,
Georgia. That's Snoopy's team.
We need to get
Snoopy team.
College, but whatever. So actually,
before we talk about Coach K,
we need to talk about the champs.
I'm going to say that right now. Just despite those UNC games, he's going to be remembered very well.
Yeah. They're not going to talk about the 2 losses to UNC in like 10 years or whatever, but it's not going to be worried. They're going to talk about the overall career and stuff like that, so it's not too big of a deal for him. But I don't want to talk about Coach K right now. He'll get in third. So the men's college basketball trophy is staying in the Big 12. The Kansas Jayhawks are your 2022 NCAA men's basketball champions. They've had the largest comeback in the college basketball finals history. Came back down 15.
You give it to UNC how good they played too throughout this entire tournament. You have to give it to them.
Half, and then I don't know what happened that second half, man. They just got. That's the easiest way to say it.
I mean, to be fair, UNC is also massively undersized compared to Kansas, and UNC also had some injuries as well.
And they had the guy whose ankle he had already had a sprained ankle, but his ankle kind of gave out when he hit a floorboard. That you saw how it came up. That was kind of wild, but
I feel like if UNC was not fighting against these injuries and stuff, this national championship could have been a Tar Heel.
Yeah, possibly, but I mean, they come.
I know you're happy for your bracket.
Yeah, my bracket was crappy. Beside Kansas, I had Kansas right. That was the only pick I got right. Was Kansas, so I'm kind of happy about that. But I mean, it's just weird to think about how the Big 12 is like the SEC owns the college football playoffs since the decade started, and then the Big 12's own the college basketball. I want to say like field since college basketball court since 2020 started. So it's kind of just weird to think about.
Who won last year's the women's championship? Who won last year?
That's a good question.
I thought it would have been South Carolina too, but
no, South Carolina won in 2017.
What is it?
I want to say not Stanford. Is that Stanford or Arizona?
It was Stanford. It was Stanford. Baylor won in 2019. And year before. I would never guess Baylor would have won 2019. And then the men's tournament.
Yeah, I remember that. I remember Baylor winning in 2019. That one was a good one. That game was good. I mean, I think this is kind of like I want to say torch passing of dynasties. I mean, UConn was owning the 2010s. They had those championships coming and going. I mean, they're still good. Don't get me wrong, but I mean, South just way better than I didn't expect that. But they came out, they did their thing, and they kind of owned the whole game. It's just like that. I think that's the new top dog in college women's basketball, because it's like they got their second one in 5 years. So I mean, it's just like kudos to South Carolina, but also keep an eye out. They're just building a program over there that's just like wow.
I think yeah, I have to agree. I think South Carolina is going to be that team and the women's basketball period.
All right, so we want to talk about this Coach K in more depth now. So I mean, UNC beat time in a month in the Final Four, Final Four, and you got to be like, okay, so it's like, I mean, Roy Williams and Coach K, those were some legendary games that the two had against each other. But I mean, you got the new guys coming in now next season.
No one's talking about this UNC coach as is. I have not heard a thing about him. I think he needs to be given more credit for how UNC has been this year. Not to get distracted or anything. It needs to be said though.
What, Hubert Davis? Yeah, I mean, no one's really talking about Hugh, but it's like to come in after Roy Williams and his legacy, and then just going in first year, making it to the finals. I mean, that's just crazy, wild, great, and fantastic. I mean, we're gonna talk about this more probably tomorrow, but I mean, it's just like it's kind of crazy.
It's just wild. I mean, it also shows that UNC is in a great place in terms of basketball right now, unlike Kentucky. Sorry, Kentucky.
Oh, Kentucky's got issues big time. And we talked about it last week. I'm not going to get into too much right now because I kind of want to talk about it.
I have to give UNC the credit, though. For an undersized team that's been playing hard and stuff, I think UNC has higher upside than any team in college basketball at the moment.
So I want to talk about this St. Peter's thing, right? So they had their head coach is leaving to go to Seton Hall, right? So yes. They're losing their head coach, and then they lost their top 3 players to the transfer portal, and Doug Eder, and there's the other 2 guys. I gotta find the tweet with the other 2 going in. But...
Did Doug Eder realize his worth? I don't know if it's about a realize his worth type of thing. I think it's more about him, like, not having his head coach that probably brought him to his school, and he just wants to leave now that his coach is gone. I think it's more of that type of thing.
It's Doug Eder, Daryl Banks, and Matthew Lee. So the top 3 players from this team is getting into the transfer portal, and it's kind of similar to what you saw in LSU when the guy got fired. I'm trying to blank on what is it fired on the put on leave. It's kind of weird how that whole situation played out, but they got rid of him.
Thing made no sense,
and their entire team went into the transfer portal. So you're starting to see this now with teams, I guess, like the guy who brought him in, they're now they're going also into the transfer portal. They're falling into the transfer portal, and they're going to their own places because the guy that drew them there is no longer there. So they're like, what's the reason of us being here? So it's just interesting new era of college sports in general, even because even in the NCAA, it's like when Ed Orgeron left, right? You saw Eli Ricks go and head over to Alabama once Oj left, and they brought in Brian Kelly. So it's kind of like you're even seeing that there. It's like this is just a new age of how it's going. So
Well, I want to say this. I mean, I think a lot of players have realized they realize their relationship value with their coaches mean a lot more than their relationship value with the schools. Because the
yeah,
coach is the one that is going to be defending the players' butt all the time. The school, they don't care. They could yak away your scholarship as fast as they can if they wanted to. So let that sink in.
yep. All right. So
Also,
before we move,
I know we got sidetracked with the Coach K conversation since because I wanted to mention that UNC coach, but you didn't say much about it.
I didn't.
No.
I thought I did at the beginning. Like, all right, so he lost to UNC twice, they lost to Hugh twice. I mean, they're gonna more talk about Tim versus Roy Williams and his whole, USA basketball, or like USA
Yeah,
Juniors, USA
yeah,
Juniors.
and we got
They're gonna talk
sidetracked.
about just building up with Leitner. They're gonna just talk more about that kind of whole era of Duke basketball. Then they're gonna talk about how it ended. You're gonna see the same thing, kind of like how his career ended, kind of similar to Drew Brees, like that playoff loss to the upstart new guy in the division. I mean, or you know what I mean.
I mean, I could say this about Coach K.
It's gonna be the same.
He
They're
also
gonna
has
talk about.
Olympic medals too.
Hmm?
He has those Olympic medals too.
That's what I'm talking about. His USA juniors and all that crap. They're gonna.
No, not just juniors, the senior team too. He
Oh yeah,
coached
him
it.
and Pop. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's right. But they're gonna have all that. So I mean, it's not gonna just be how it ended. They're gonna be talking about this 10 years. No one's gonna care how it ended. They're gonna talk about it in its entirety. So I mean, the 30 for 30 on Coach K it's not even gonna talk about the two losses to UNC. So I don't even think it too much at this point. I mean, we talked about this week. That was kind of a legacy moment, but I mean, in hindsight, even though it's a loss for him, it's not going to be talked about as much as if he had won the championship towards
let's
the end.
be honest. Like compared to his other playoff runs recently, this is probably Coach K's best run in some time.
Yeah, since the like better Duke teams that he's had,
Probably since the Justice Winslow team.
2015 or 2015 or 2014.
It was 2015.
Yeah, the 2015 team was probably the best one, and then he had the Tatum teams that did good. They got into like the Elite Eight or Final Four too. So I mean,
no, I don't think that team got in Final Four, did it?
the Jahlil Okafor team went all the way. I know that, but I mean that was 2014. So I want to think. I don't remember exactly, but I know the Tatum teams were pretty good too. But enough about that. I want to talk about the draft. If you're ready, before we move on to hot topics. We got kicked off into hot topics.
It's fine.
All right, ready? Or are you still searching?
No, I'm ready.
All right, so who do you think is going to go 1 this year? Is Jabari Smith, who's already declared, Paulo Banchero, Chet, I hope does not go number 1, and Jaden Ivey from Purdue.
Oh, we're talking about NBA or NFL? I'm sorry, I was looking up something.
College basketball, NBA draft.
Oh, that is tough. I actually do not know. I don't have a single clue on this matter, to be honest.
All right, Chet Holmgren's a twig. Paolo Banchero is a very superior Julius Randle with a bigger bag. Jabari Smith, I don't even know how you describe Jabari Smith. He's like a thicker KD, I want to say, almost. Jaden Ivey is
play for?
Almost like a Donovan Mitchell type player. I mean, that's the easiest way I guess I could say it.
I mean, Chet Holmgren is going to go high because
he's not even. He's going to get.
He's going to go high because of his hype. But
he
might go to be honest, because of his hype.
Probably.
Just because of his hype, a team is going to.
I see Chet Holmgren and I immediately think of Mo Bamba and that disappointment. Even though Mo Bamba's got a double-double right now, I mean, I don't care. He got bullied a lot down low. I mean, if Chet Holmgren goes to the Eastern Conference, Joel Embiid and Giannis are going to punk him every other game when they play each other. That's just what it is. But all right, moving into hot topics. Slide it on over, J Peeps. I'm waiting for the background to switch. Please, thank you. All right, we're gonna start off with the Tiger Woods comeback. All right, so Tiger Woods is playing in the Masters. Congrats, man. 14 months after your car accident, messed up your legs and all that. I mean, the fact you're playing even in the Masters to begin with, only 14 months later, bro. We need to just make an award for a comeback athlete every year. He should win it
They'll
unanimously.
probably get the ESPYs comeback athlete of the year if they have one.
Do the ESPYs have one? I honestly have no idea.
I don't know, but I could see it.
Well, yeah, I mean, just even him playing, he doesn't even have to win it. Him being there should just be enough to get it. And I seriously think he might actually do it. He might win it. I don't even know. There's that other dude who was in the Olympics who did good, but I mean, I'm forgetting his name now. But I mean, golf's always been a kind of a thing for him. So I mean, he did win in 2019, so it's not even that long ago he didn't win it. So I mean, we already know he's the greatest golfer of all time. So it's like, it's possible. He can just pull out some magic one more time, get his dub, and move on. And what you doing? Not gonna talk about it.
I mean, look, I am not just too sure on the matter.
You have no idea what the hell's going on, do you?
Oh, I mean, other than Tiger Woods making his comeback, I mean, what else is there to talk about? I mean, it's great to see.
I don't know. I'm just bullshitting. That's a joke. But you get the all right, it's all right. All right, let's go talk about some baseball.
I'm glad for Tiger that he's able to play. It's not going to mess with his mental too much. So
yeah,
that's all I can say.
Being out there.
I mean, this is not much I could say about it.
Yeah. I mean, it's golf. I mean, I can't say much on it to begin with. You can't say much when you're playing the game either. So I mean, that's what happens with golf. I mean, you can't even talk when they're on the tee box. I mean, whatever. All right, baseball making opening week this week. Any wild predictions for this season before the season starts off? Who do you think is going to be in the World Series?
I know the Rays are heartbroken with this recent trade, but I'm going to say
no, they're not. Again. They got a top prospect coming up. Josh Lowe is making his.
The Rays. I got the Rays winning it all.
Yeah, we got to be homers and take the Rays. I mean, Yankees are always disappointment, so ain't nobody give a crap about the Yankees. Dodgers just pay everybody.
I ain't afraid of Boston either, so
yeah. So the Dodgers paid everybody just to lose to the Braves last year. So I mean, Atlanta used all their magic to get wins for the Braves and the Bulldogs. So I mean, they ain't winning for sure. Probably the Red Sox never won, so I hope they don't win.
That's what I'm saying.
I can tell you two teams guaranteed not to win it next year. The Baltimore Orioles and the Pittsburgh Pirates. Guaranteed not to win a single 20 games at least. Those two teams are just
hilarious.
Garbage.
I love that.
Them two teams guaranteed garbage. Ain't no one worried about them.
You ain't gonna worry about them at all, my man.
Yep. I mean, I think Wander Franco's gonna be one of the top players in the league next year. Or this year now, I guess you gotta call it. But I mean, ain't nothing much more for me on that part. We mentioned Austin Meadows getting traded to the Detroit Tigers. Yeah, their second top prospect is gonna replace him. His opening day roster.
Whoa. Can we jump to the Dan Snyder? How Dan Snyder is that threatening of losing his team, but the Miami Dolphins owner isn't.
The NFL is so full of shit. It's unbelievable. They get all the sexual harassment.
Probably no reason why Kaepernick is not employed at the moment.
Yeah, see, race and sexual misconduct and all that crap. That doesn't matter.
They don't care about race.
It's all about
at all.
This, man.
It's all about this. They only care if you
their
call
pockets are getting affected.
If you're saying some gay slangs. That's what they care about. If you're making fun of gay people or something, it's an issue. But if it's racism, it's like, oh, racism, it's nothing. Oh, look, Donald Trump booing that Kaepernick. Yeah, let it go.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, race, gay, all that should be bad stuff, man. I don't know why society hasn't figured that crap
No,
out
but
yet, but
I mean,
whatever.
it's just more infuriating that we still have race problems, but people only care more about homophobic and whatever sexuality issues we have out there.
Well,
I mean, let's just make this make sense, all right? Leah Thomas is getting more attention than the woman-born athlete that was disqualified from running the 800 for South Africa, all because she had too much testosterone. But you hear people talk about Leah Thomas.
how we get to that? We're talking about Dan Snyder having 2 books and getting threatened to lose his job.
I'm just saying that this is how society is, and this is how big organizations is. They just want. This is how the press is on showing what issues they want to show and all that.
Well, yeah, that's true.
That's what I'm trying to say. If you guys
narrative.
are getting, it's a narrative, yes.
Yeah, but okay, so Dan Snyder had a second thing where he had 2 books, one for the finances that the NFL saw, and his own private one where he didn't fully disclose the amount of money that the team was making off revenue for away team ticket sales or something like that. It's kind of weird thing there, but he was withholding money from the league, and there's like a pool of money that they all put in together and they all split it or whatever. So it's like, okay, so the NFL owner's like, oh, you're not giving us our money, so then you're probably gonna lose your team, and that's where this whole issue is coming in. So if it is confirmed that he did have the second book and was withholding money from revenues from the league, he's definitely gonna lose the team, and then you'll have a second franchise up for sale along with the Denver Broncos.
I still want to see the Miami Dolphins put that franchise up for sale for that.
I take that back. Sexual misconduct did get have repercussions because Jerry Richardson, what the Panthers did was had to sell the team after his whole issue. His image was saying. So I mean, I don't know what kind of dirt Dan standards he got to make John Gruden be the fall guy for when his major issues came out, but he's not surviving this one, I don't think. But one more thing before we talk, close it out for tonight. Austin Matthews, man, he's going to be the third player since 1996 to score 60 goals, along with Steven Stamkos in 2012, Alex Ovechkin before that, Mario Lemieux, and Wayne Gretzky, I think was the third one, or Brandon Orr was the other one. But there was 6 guys to do it, and he's going to be probably the next one. He's got 54 goals right now, and he's got 14 games to do it. So, I mean, he just needs 6 empty net goals. So all that just to lose in the first round is good enough for me. I mean, just to know Stamkos probably was the last one to do it until now. This is pretty good to hear. I mean, Stamkos been bad defensively. Holy shit. The last 2 games, he's been bad. He's had some key turnovers there.
Come on, Ace. It's almost playoff time for the NHL.
And he's been bad. He's been playing
these good teams play kind of bad on the last week of regular season, so they could
They need to give Vasilevsky a breather for the next 15. The Lightning have 15 more games. I ain't want to see Vasilevsky in 13 of them. Put Brian Elliott in for the other 13 games. Give Vasilevsky a breather, man. The man has been playing how many games since 2020 in a bubble? He's got you 2 championships. Give him a break for a month and let him get ready for the playoffs.
That's what I'm going to say.
He's been mediocre the last month and a half. He also they have not been looking good against good teams. He allowed hat tricks to David Pastrnak, Austin Matthews in the last 2 weeks. I mean, yeah, that's not a recipe that you want to go into the playoffs. Give him a breather, let him get himself straight, and get ready for the playoffs. I mean, that's all I got to say for the hockey. But anything else you want to talk about hockey, baseball, Dan Snyder, Tiger Woods, anything like that before you want to close out?
When's the NHL playoffs? That's my big question.
They have 2 more weeks. NBA starts next week. I know NHL's got at least 15
That is
games
strange.
left.
That's awfully strange. NBA usually finish before.
Well, no, because the NHL had to schedule the Winter Olympics in, but then when they didn't let the players go because of Omicron, they just had a longer break.
Well, not only
Omicron
too. They also they don't want them playing for Team USA because of China and what they're.
Oh yeah, that China thing too. I forgot about that. Yeah, there's all that, and then but they had for the schedule for this year, they had like 2 or 3 weeks extra.
Anyways, that is all, folks. you all for coming out for
That's all,
tonight's
folks.
episode on the whole Last Skip podcast. That is all, folks. As you
Oh.
know, be a friend, tell a friend, like, share, subscribe,
You
tell
gotta
your
recap what you're
friends
talking
about
about.
us. Anything you want to say, Ace?
Yeah, well, we hit all our points. I think we had a good topic. I mean, we didn't have to work Flash on
Ace
his
was kind of
debating.
rambling on a little bit.
I was rambling because I was trying to draw it out. But I mean,
You
Flash
were
was giving me
rambling on.
one-word answers half the NFL segment, so I had to ramble a little bit to carry it. But oh well, I'm just being the goofball here for the show.
I'm the goofball, not you.
Up to be. It's all right. But he said more words just there in an answer than he was the entire show. So I mean, it's whatever. That's how the show works. It's good. Be a friend, tell a friend like Ace, like Flash. Oh God, my brain's frying up here. But I mean, yeah. I mean, tomorrow, running gun, 8:00. You know the drill. We'll hopefully get a guest on the next week. Either tomorrow or next week. We're trying to get a guest on, so we'll see how that works out. But yeah, I mean, like we said, that's all, folks. I mean, peace out, stay safe, good stuff.
Hit it, peeps.